So it's December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. Yep, New Year's Eve. And I thought I would just give you the bottle of the video at the opening the bottle, but that's not a real video. That's just me taking cell phone footage of me opening a bottle. So I wanted to give you a real video. This is my favorite weed strains. I've been a weed snob my whole life. Smoked a lot of different kinds of weed. My favorite strain is Girl Scout cookies, so I'm going to give you the top 10 versions of Girl Scout cookies. And then I'm also going to give you my top 10 overall strains before the cookies took over, which that's mostly what I smoke now is cookies. My top 10 that I came up with that are just strains that knocked me out when I tried them are Romulan. I love Romulan. I wish more people grew Romulan. I think if you grow Romulan properly, it's one of the best strains ever. One of my other favorite strains, probably the strongest strain I've ever smoked, is Apollo 11 or Apollo 13. I think it's Apollo 11. It's a Romulan cross. I love Green Crack. Green Crack is the perfect sativa stimulant kind of effect, and then fades into the cushy kind of relaxation. I love the white. It's just a strong indica. For OG, I had to pick my favorite OG, so I picked Tahoe OG. That's the strongest to me. If you get a good cut of Tahoe, it's not much better than it. The Grease OG too, or the Grease Monkey, also a very strong, sedating OG. God's Gift, I love that strain. I love Kosher Kush. I love anything with the genetics of God's Gift, which I think is GDP and Kosher Kush. I didn't check. Purple Urkel. It's my favorite straight up indica cookies that I'm obsessed with. I like the indica dominant versions of cookies. And cookies is just GDP crossed with Durban crossed with OG. Usually. Sometimes it's just Durban crossed with OG, but that's technically cherry pie. But sometimes they call that cookies. But Urkel is the part you want from the indica part. It's crossed with Big Bud. That's how you make GDP, is Big Bud and Urkel. But fuck Big Bud. Big Bud just makes it cheaper, makes you yield more. Purple Urkel is the good indica. The best indica, maybe, except for these other ones. Chemdog, I can't pick a favorite Chemdog. They're so different. They're so beautiful. I like the 91 Chem. I like the Chem 4. I picked the Chem 4. That was the strongest to me. Chem Sister. So many chems. So many great chems. Thank you for in that Deer Creek parking lot where you exchanged the seeds and created all of our beautiful modern genetics of skunky chemi weed to smoke. Thank you, whoever did that stuff. I think I know names, but I'm not going to bore you. Skywalker OG. This might be the strongest OG. If you like an indica dominant OG, this shit sends you to the moon. Death Star, another one, does that similar, and I think we're at 10. Honorable mention, I could go on for 20 minutes. The ones that come to mind immediately are the good Sour Diesel, White Widow, White Rhino, Purple Kush, the Island Sweet Skunk. This is mostly what I was smoking when I was younger, living in Boston. So, gotta mention those. For cookies, it's very complicated. There's so many different kinds of cookies. To give you my top 10 cookies, I have to kind of explain cookies. I think the best places to get cookies are from Alien Labs. That's the best quality cookie crosses I had. I lived in the Bay Area when a lot of these cookies crosses were being developed, so I smoked a lot of the burner cuts, a lot of the original cuts of these strains that became whatever, Big Al Exotics, Burner, Sherbinsky's, Cookies brand, which Cookies brand has gone downhill. Their quality control sucks. They're not nearly as good as what Cookies originally was. Runts, I think, is a sub of Cookies. Runts isn't one of my favorites. Tropicana cookies, is good if you want like a more sativa-y thing, but it's just tangy crossed with cookies. I don't like tangy that much. I think it's overrated. Um, Platinum Cookies is a good strong cookie. OG Kush Breath, Peanut Butter Breath, things like this are cookie crosses, but I don't consider them pure cookies. I'm giving you the top 10 cookies for the cookie expert, for the, the man or woman who's a discerning palate and really loves a good cookie. Number 10, I put Wedding Cake. Great strain. Um, it's just gelato crossed with sherbet, right? Or gelato crossed with Thin Mint, I think, is Wedding Cake. I maybe think of Ice Cream Cake, which is Wedding Cake crossed with gelato. Yeah, that's what it is. Wedding Cake crossed with gelato is Ice Cream Cake. Wedding Cake itself, I think, is just, I want to say, Durban times OG, which is cherry pie crossed with OG cookies, which is cherry pie crossed with Durban crossed with GDP. For number 9, I put just the original Girl Scout cookies. If you get a good batch of the original Girl Scout cookies, it's very good. The better batches are the ones that are GDP times OG times Durban, and the weaker ones are the ones that are just cherry pie to me, which are just the Durban and the OG, which don't have enough indica for me. For number 8, I put White Tahoe cookies. This is a fantastic strain. It's very strong, combines a lot of my favorite genetics. It's a great strain. Number 7, I put Larry Bird. It's the 33 cut of gelato. It's one of the best cuts. Either the 33 or the 41 is the best gelato. Gelato is one of the best strains ever made. And Larry Bird is a prime example of why. Number 6, I put Sunset Sherbet, which is Pink Panties times Girl Scout cookies, which Pink Panties is the Sherbinsky's indica. It's also good. And it complements really well the cookies, and this is a fabulous strain. Recommend it to anybody. Number 5, I put Sunset Sherbet. Or no, Gelato. Gelato is better than Sherbet. I just described Sherbet and then told you my favorite gelato. But I just wanted to say gelato itself, which is Thin Mints times Sherbet, is gelato. And Thin Mints is the best pheno of cookies. So if you just want cookies, get Thin Mints or the other 3 that are above this. Because Thin Mints is as good as you're going to do for pure cookies. It's just the best pheno of OG times Durban or whatever. Number 3, I put Gushers. These buds are amazing. I love the bud structure of these. The high is great. It's the Triangle Kush, which is all those South Florida Kushes and whatever. It's kind of mysterious genetics on what the Triangle Kush is exactly, but it's generally understood that they took the 3 best strains from Florida and made this great indica hybrid Triangle Kush with this cool bud formulation, which, when combined with the Girl Scout cookies, creates these insane little nuggets that, I just want to frame a gusher. They're just beautiful, smelling, tasting, feeling. It's a wonderful strain of marijuana. And then number 2, I put Animal Cookies. I've seen this as Animal Crackers. A lot of the names you can't trust, and you have to kind of know who's growing it, and you talk to them and figure out how much they even know about the genetics at some of these places. But Animal Cookies is one of my favorite strains, Fire OG, or sometimes Wi-Fi OG, which is even better, crossed with Girl Scout cookies. And it creates an insane, beautiful strain of marijuana. It's very potent, tastes delicious, and it's just it's a it's one of the best types of marijuana you can smoke. There's only one strain that I like better than that strain, and it's called baklava, which is kosher kush times gelato 41. Now this is combining my favorite gelato. Gelato is already the peak of the kind of inbreeding of the cookie family, and combining it with just almost pure indica that's just so euphoric and relaxing to me. I love kosher kush. Um, yeah, so my favorite strain is baklava. There's so many other cookies. The runts are pretty good. Certain ones. I don't love the banana runts. I like the original runts. But, um, yeah. I mean, you'll never run out of cookies. These are my favorite cookies.